Yo, good morning, Freedom Marchers. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're in the world. This is Snapzilla Gorilla, aka Tyrants Bane, aka getting tired of these motherfucking tyrants. I just wanted to come on here real quick, man, to express on this day of August 1st, 2022, I just want to talk about how voting or threatening not to vote for a politician is not going to stop a politician from committing treason against the people, from becoming a tyrant, all right? Let me tell you something. Yeah, you might every now and then, you make enough noise, they give you the idea, or they give you they'll give you the impression that you're doing something when they change their mind or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, all they have to do is come back around to actually fully commit to that treason. You understand what I'm saying? Because look at what happened with that Senate bill, right? The Senate bill, that bipartisan Senate bill that netted 14 Republican votes and then went to the House, and of course it breezed through the House, and now it's in law. Now it's part of the law where states get money to enact red flag laws. You know, that happened because the threats, right? The threat of the people not to vote for you or not to vote for them did not work, all right, at the end of the day. And this is something that they'll do in regards to bills like this, right? Where bills where it says, oh, well, you know, in order to get this grant money, you have to have, you know, some due process while enacting red flag laws. Well, it's not a red flag law if there's due process, right? In order to have due process, you have to have what? You have to have evidence of some type of crime being committed. You can't just go by hearsay, right? That's what they say. But at the same time, what did they do? They took away this. You have to defend yourself at your own expense when people do say that you are a threat to yourself and others, right? In order to defend yourself, it has to come out of your pocket. You have to spend your time, you know what I'm saying? And that's that type of bullshit that they sneak in to make it more difficult for you to stand up for your rights. And like I said, they passed that law, right? You know, the whole thing about going back into the juvenile records for anyone that's aged 18 to 21 or 18 to 20, you know, they can go further into your past to prevent you from being able to keep and bear arms. This shit went through because 14 Republicans said, you know what, let's go ahead and do it, right? Let's go ahead and do it. And then they acted like they did you a favor. You know what I'm saying? What did this fool Mitch McConnell say? Because, you know, some Republican group in Oklahoma, I think, what do they call that when they censured? They censured Mitch McConnell, right? One county in some state censured Mitch McConnell, and Mitch McConnell didn't give a fuck, right? You see, you threaten to not support a politician. Mitch McConnell has been in the game for decades. You know what I'm saying? And it wouldn't hurt him. Okay, so let's say he didn't win the next election. He had already done his damage. He didn't already got the money he could get from lobbyists and all that other shit. He's already a millionaire. These people are already, they good in the game. You know what I'm saying? So what good does it do to threaten not to vote for somebody? to threaten not to support them. You know what I'm saying? That's not enough. Because there's a reason that there are laws against treason. There are reasons that you can be put to death for committing treason in the government's eyes, right? Let's say you went to Europe or you went to Russia and you started selling secrets to Russia, right? That's a whole different level of treason, but it's still treason nonetheless. Is the government going to say, if they catch you being a spy for Russia or being a spy for China or being a spy for some other country, are they going to say, you know what? Because I caught you committing treason, I'm not going to what is the equivalent of voting, right? Oh, we're not going to pay. I don't know. We're not something silly, right? They're not going to say, oh, I'm not going to I don't know. What does the government do? The government don't do shit for people. So I don't even know what they would take away. You know what I'm saying? All they do is extract from people. So I'm finding it hard to come up with something. But let's say, I don't know. Let's say the government did some shit for you. And if they stop doing that thing for you for selling secrets to Russia or selling secrets to China, it ain't going to affect your life. So when we say, when we know that these politicians are committing straight up treason and they're violating 18 U.S. Code 242 and 241, saying that we're not going to vote for them, that is not a fitting punishment for the crime that they've committed, right? It doesn't fit. Oh, we're not going to elect you in 2 years. And then you got to wait 2 years for you not to elect them in some cases. You know, some people have seats that are up for grabs this coming November, you know, but I mean, come on, man. Come on. It's not enough to threaten not to vote for somebody who is blatantly and openly coming for your rights. It's just not enough. You know, anybody and anyone that tells you that's what needs to be done, they're delusional or they're trying to keep you soft, right? I can see you saying, well, don't vote for these people who commit treason, or call your senators, or call your Congress people, call your representatives and tell them not to vote for this and not to vote for that, or we're going to take there's nothing wrong with that, but that can't be the only, right, repercussion. That can't be the only repercussion, because when you commit treason, again, when you violate 18 U.S. Code 242 and 241, those things are punishable by jail time, prison time, fines, and even death if that violation results in a kidnapping, or it results in a death, or it results in bodily harm, right? If your violation of my rights result in bodily harm or bodily injury or death or kidnapping, right, false imprisonment, then you could be put to death. That's just that. I didn't make this shit up. I didn't come up with this. They did, right? The founders of the bullshit, right? The founders of the Constitution, the people who came up with these codes. They did it for a reason. They said under the color of law for a reason, right? Meaning you can say, oh, it's all about law, all you want. But at the end of the day, if that law violates someone's rights, then that law is invalid. And it's not a law, right? Because laws can't be broken. If you can break it, it ain't a law, right? I wish we'd stick to that, but it is what it is. They want to call it laws, it is what it is. But if that law violates someone's rights, when they've done nothing wrong, when they've not committed an actual crime, then it must be ignored, and it must be punished. If you come up with that law, the law that violates someone's individual rights, then you need to face the consequences. And the consequences for that is not removing your support. All right, that's not enough. It's not enough. First of all, there's not enough informed people to, make that very effective. Because who's the alternative, right? Let's say you want somebody to be primary, like Mitch McConnell or some other senator or congressperson that voted for an unconstitutional law. Let's say the alternative individual, the person that's going against them in the primary, let's say that person doesn't give a fuck about 2A rights. Then what you gonna do? Or let's say that they say that they're for 2A rights, but then they get in there and they do the exact same thing that previous senator or congressperson did. You don't know what these people are going to do until they get in the office and actually do something. They can promise you whatever they want to promise you. They can say whatever they want. That does not mean that they're going to actually deliver on that promise. So we can't rely on removing a vote. It just doesn't work like that. And I'm sick. I'm honestly getting tired of these different 2A channels, these so-called pro 2A channels that are sitting up here telling you that that's an effective tool in and of itself. It's not. Yeah, you might be able to call enough people, call a senator, enough people call a congressperson. They might change their mind, or they might actually be on your side. But again, rely on, what if we call Mitch McConnell, or we call Lindsey Graham and all these other people? What if we call them 800,000 people call them and tell them not to vote for something? Guess what? They can still vote for that measure or vote for that bill, even if you call them 800,000 times. Even if 800,000 people call Mitch McConnell, or 800,000 people call Lindsey Graham, or 800,000 people call that congressperson out of Pennsylvania, that Republican, those two Republicans, I forgot their names. They can still vote the way they want to vote. Why? Because you put them in the position in the first place. You voted for them to represent your interest. This is why I say not voting is not just symbolic, right? When you vote for somebody to represent you, you are now giving them your vote. You're giving them the ability and the power to act on your behalf, even if it isn't in alignment with what you want or what you believe, right? Because it's not just about you. It's not just about your interest. They can't just go by what you want, right? Because they don't just represent you. They represent thousands of people, tens of thousands of people in their district, millions of people in their district, right? One senator gets half of the population of their state. And when they vote a certain way, some people are going to be pleased, some people aren't, right? And that's the whole point. That's the whole point. But when you're your sole representative, when you're your own representative, you don't have to worry about that. You represent your damn self, right? If you want to carry a gun, you carry a fucking gun. If you want to, if you want to do drugs, you can do drugs. Because you represent yourself, you represent your own interest, right? You don't have how you decide to live your life doesn't have to affect other people. But when you vote for somebody to do that, well then guess what? Guess what? You just gave up your autonomy. You have told the government that you're okay with them deciding what's good for you and how you should live your life. That's what you've done as a voter, right? But people who don't vote, hell, they can't even escape the bullshit, because guess why? We have been sucked up into it. We don't have a choice, because the government has control over every inch of this fucking country, every inch of this piece of land that they call a country, right? And it's a country because it has borders, right? It has borders, and within those borders, they have eminent domain. They have dominion over everything within this border, and even countries in places outside the border. The Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico. What used to used to be Hawaii, but Hawaii is now a state. You can't escape it. There's no opt-out button. There's no option to remove yourself from the system. And that is the problem. That is the problem. And so now, when we have these so-called representatives acting on our behalf by going against what we want and what we desire, right? They say, fuck you, I don't give a hot damn about your vote. I'm going to do what I feel is best for the interest of the people that, give me the most money and allow me to have the most power. And what does that do? Right? And they rub your face in it. They rub your face, and they come up with it when they have to explain why they went against conservative values and conservative interests, right? Because a conservative value is what? Small government. That's a conservative value. Conservative values is, the right to keep and bear arms, right? Supposedly. When they go against that, all they know and all they have to worry about is you not voting for them. And I believe one of these Republican Congress people, they just started their term. This is their first term, right? So, and they're not up for reelection this year. They're not up for reelection until 2024. So by the time 2024 rolls around, y'all will forget. If there is no consequence, real consequence, consequence of equal weight to the fucking crime they committed, then they have no incentive to act in a proper manner, to be moral, right? There's no incentive for them to do the right thing by the people. At the next stop sign, turn left. At all, because all they have to worry about is a fucking vote. And when these people, I'm not even gonna mention their channels, right? Y'all know who I'm talking about. These 2A channels that, they're all about the politics, right? They know all the political shit. They have all these insiders. They have all these they know when shit's about to happen. All they tell you to do is not vote for somebody when they know that we have more at our disposal, right? We have more tools at our disposal to encourage these so-called representatives to actually act in our interest. You see what I'm saying? One channel, he was doing a live stream. I sent a super chat. I said these people have violated 18 U.S. Code 241 and 18 U.S. Code 242. They have violated They have conspired to infringe on our rights, and that is punishable. That is a punishable crime. And he said, "Oh well, we can't get into that. We can't do that." What are you talking about? We can't do that. That's what I'm saying, right? You have this huge voice. You got hundreds of thousands of subscribers, right? You got people listening to you, donating to you, spending money with the sponsors that pay you.
Proceed to the route.
And you don't want to, put yourself out there. You don't want to say, look, we need to do more than just not vote for somebody. You want to, when we have more tools at our disposal, you don't want to tell people to use those tools. Anyway, guys, I'm here at the job. So I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Much love, like, share, subscribe, and let's keep marching forward toward freedom. Peace.